This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program News Analysis, we now bring you a discussion on need to streamline social media. The participants are Professor K.M. Srivastav, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, and Prashant Sood, IANS.
The role of social media, particularly its misuse in fanning communal violence, cropped up in a major way at the National Integration Council meeting Monday, with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and several chief ministers stressing on the need to check mischievous propaganda through the internet. The Prime Minister said that the social media provides an opportunity to state one's views freely, and there is need to maintain this, but it is also important that we do not allow people wanting to create trouble to misuse it. How do you look at Prime Minister's remarks and also of the concern of the chief ministers at the National Integration Council meeting?
See, whatever they have expressed is a genuine concern because a lot of things have happened. Social media was misused in communal violence which took place recently. Earlier you had this incident where northeastern students had problems created by social media and many of them had to run away. But we should not forget that this is new technology, and as any other new technology, it has uses and misuses. And it is the job of the administration and the job of the governments to make sure that misuse is not done. In this case, there is also responsibility of citizens. Now we have in our constitution not only rights but also duties of citizens. Unfortunately, citizens of India are concerned about rights, but they are not at all concerned about duties. See, because no government on the earth can really monitor what is happening on social media because the speed is the limiting factor. Now, if it is the duty of the citizen to point out to government if some mischievous thing is happening. Now, governments should have a point. I mean, the police system is there, but they should also have some social media monitoring system where citizens can forward a complaint about a mischievous tweet or mischievous Facebook post. Now, that kind of thing, if it happens, then it will be easier to react. If you look at all these cases, the problem has been that social media's speed is very fast. It is instantaneous. And in this case, the reaction on the behalf of administration is delayed. And this delay can be controlled not only by government but also by public participation in this sphere.
This National Integration Council was held in the aftermath of violence in Muzaffarnagar, in which over 50 persons were killed. The Prime Minister also referred to this and said that there had been cases in which fake videos were circulated which laid hatred among people of the other community, was targeted against other community, and obviously these videos are found to be fake. And now arrests have also been made. Action after something has happened is one thing, but do you think steps can be taken to prevent misuse of such information? One, and number two, take immediate steps. As soon as it's happening, you take proactive steps.
You cannot book somebody without committing crime. That is a universal principle of the law. But you can do it very fast if you have systems in place. The problem with social media or this new technology is that our systems are not able to monitor things properly and the action is delayed. This has happened in most cases where trouble has taken place. Even in US, for example, you had this case where a video was uploaded by somebody against Islam and there was a lot of problem. They could track down, but after a lot of damage has been done. The advantage in US is that the companies which are active in social media, most of the platforms are US based. So they have access to all the metadata, and this is not the case of India or any other country. Now, as I was suggesting earlier, if the public participation is there, the people on the social networking site are vigilant and they can inform of any mischievous post, it is really possible to track down the criminals or the mischievous people in time. The advantage of social media is that because of metadata, it is very easy to track down. You have seen earlier use of mobile was very handy. Similarly, social media is also very handy to track down mischievous people and the criminals. The thing is, we have to put systems in place. As you have seen in this meeting of National Integration Council, many chief ministers have talked about it. Umar Abdullah talked about problems created in Kashmir, and also the Assam chief minister mentioned this.
What are the reasons you think are reasons that make this social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter or other forms, popular? One is of course that there's no check of boundaries, and the other thing is that whatever you want to write, you can write and then get away with. There's no responsibility.
This is a misconception. Actually, you are not protected for any mischief you do on social media. All laws, including IPC and any other laws, if you see other countries, there also every other law which deals with communication applies to social media also. And the advantage of social media is that in other cases it may be difficult to prove that you have said something. Here you cannot delete what you have said. My advice to people who use social media is that whenever they put anything on social media, they should be very careful. But the misconception in India is that social media is beyond boundaries, as you said, and beyond law. It is not true. All the laws that apply to any other communication, if you read IPC carefully, this applies to social media also. The thing is that you have to apply, and you can get proof easily because of the metadata which is generated by social media.
As you said, there might be laws, but are our laws weak, because people have not seen them being enforced strictly either, one, or maybe the laws are not weak or are strong enough that, there's a deterrent effect.
See, the problem with us is that we do not apply even the existing laws properly. And when government applies law, there is a lot of furor from media side, from other people's side. The problem is that you have to give the current laws their chance, and if you do not apply, there is no point in making laws for every damn thing, which new technology comes or anything comes. You have certain laws already, you have IT Act, you have IPC, you have many other provisions under which you can take action. And you have just pointed out some people have been arrested for uploading the mischievous videos.
In case of Muzaffarnagar, right? Yes. You were talking of the National Integration Council. Several chief ministers, as you mentioned, talked about it, whether it was Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Akhilesh Yadav, Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan, Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda, Meghalaya Chief Minister Mukul Sangma. So several chief ministers actually raised this issue. And Mr. Akhilesh Yadav said that there is no effective mechanism at present to stop hate material on social media. So chief ministers have this feeling that presently the laws are not good enough to stop this hate material.
It is not a question of law. Laws exist. Laws are against hate communication. But the problem is that we are not able to monitor things properly and fix responsibility. And as I told you, because of the metadata, it is very easy to fix track down where from the mischievous thing is coming.
But whether it should be the responsibility of the service providers or the government can set up some of its own facilities to properly...
So service providers are working under government regulations. They should be also responsible for that, but they should be helpful in tracking down. That they do whenever it is required by law. So service providers as well as common citizens. I think each state government should have email or some Facebook account or a Twitter account where if something mischievous is seen by any citizen can be forwarded. And from there the administration should take over.
There were specific suggestions from chief ministers to improve, efficacy of laws, and the Haryana Chief Minister, Mr. Hooda, said that central government can take steps for control of social media under the present legal framework. He said that states can monitor, they can have inspectors, but the legal framework, the domain is of the central government to take measures in this.
I don't think so. I think when state governments, even the local police can take action on this. The problem is that our people think that this is something very different. If you look at the general law relating to communication regarding hate and all, it exists in IPC. You have to just apply it to social media. And I think this has been done in this case, Muzaffarnagar case. So it is quite alright. Sometimes we have problems where we apply wrong sections, which has happened in the case. If you see, there was an incident in Maharashtra and there was a lot of furor. Perhaps the girls who has written something on Facebook, if the police would not have arrested them or kept them in custody, what would have happened to them? The kind of atmosphere that was there at that time. But they applied a wrong section. And when inquiry took place, the officers who had taken that action, which may be a preventive arrest, they had to suffer because of that.
There's also this concern that, about the misuse of cyberspace and also balancing it with the freedom of expression that all of us have in this country and we cherish it. So how do you see this balance between, on the one hand, concerns about misuse of cyberspace and mobile technology and about the freedom of expression of an individual?
See, the freedom of expression is limited in our constitution by Article 19.1 gives you freedom of expression. But Article 19.2 gives what they call reasonable restrictions, which is justiciable. But the problem is everybody forgets about reasonable restrictions. And particularly our media, they think that they can do anything and get away. And they are getting away. Actually, a lot of channels was closed down if simple IPC is applied to television media. So this is the case with social media also. Lots of things which are happening because nobody takes note of it. The government's problem seems that if they do something, there will be a lot of hue and cry. So they just avoid. And in case they do something, then you say it is hurting freedom of expression. If they don't do, then you say they are not responsible. They are not effective.
So government has to walk on thin ice actually.
I think this is the problem.
We've been talking about social networking side, but there is also a problem of circulation of provocative messages over mobile phones. So do you think that is a more difficult problem?
That is also can be monitored. But public participation has become essential because any government machinery cannot do that, howsoever powerful it is. You have to develop a system where public participates in controlling this kind of mischief, be it on mobile phones, be it on in all what they call new media, which is now quite old, by the way.
And how do you look at this suggestion of setting up a social media lab that could be under intelligence departments to monitor all posts likely to endanger communal harmony?
I don't think this is a very good idea. There must be already some system. You have to strengthen that system and make them up to date in the sense it is not necessary to create a cell for every damn thing. In this particular case also, you have already existing systems. Some of these systems can be given this responsibility and they should be provided with the right technology. If you look at the most country which shouts on rooftops about freedom of expression is USA. Their government is monitoring everything, not only in their own country, but all over the world. They earlier had a program called Echelon. You must notice about it. All communication which goes via satellite is monitored. Now they say Echelon is closed, but I doubt they must have upgraded it. And the evidence of that has come when Mr. Snowden, who is now in asylum in Russia, spoke about use of metadata. So they are monitoring the whole world. Now we can easily monitor at least our own country.
As you said, government has to take a very sensitive view of the whole situation because of the various concerns, whether it's right to expression or on this. But there's been suggestion that on the one side, when there is attempts to misuse cyberspace, there can also be flood of messages about the need to create communal harmony. Maybe the government sector itself, government agencies can be much more proactive by providing the right information. That could be a countermeasure to curb this kind of tendency. Do you think that will be more effective than putting a blanket ban on more restrictive measures?
See, whatever government will do, you as a journalist will say it is propaganda. But government can give correct information in time only if monitoring system is perfect or efficient. So now what I feel about dealing with this situation is that the monitoring system has to be made more effective. There must be some monitoring system. It is not that it is not there, but it has to be made more effective. You have to see that delays are not there. As soon as something crops up, and if it is getting viral, then it should be possible to take necessary action and things could be corrected in time.
I know another suggestion has been to evolve a mechanism to mobilize non-government organizations, religious leaders, eminent citizens to counter provocative posts. Because government might not have appeal among people, but these people of standing have certain more appeal. Rather than, as you said, there is apprehension that it might be viewed as propaganda. But if it's coming from some leaders who have a social standing of their own,
that is their responsibility. They should do it. It is in their own interest, in the nation's interest also, that there should be social harmony.
The issue is of maintaining equilibrium, and this social media has empowered people, but it's also important that it's not misused. It's always a tight balance, and the hope is that the government will talk to various stakeholders and evolve a response on the concerns that have been expressed at the National Integration Council meeting. Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on need to streamline social media. The participants were Professor K.M. Srivastav, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, and Prashant Sood, IANS. It came to you in the program News Analysis, produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.